You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, YouTubers. But right now, if you're watching, if you're the first one to watch, you're on Patreon. You get the news faster on Patreon. You get it hot off the press, folks, and this is a big one. And not to have too sensational of a title, but has China declared war? Folks, do you doubt me? No, you don't, because we've been on this ride together. This is an amusement park ride that I don't find amusing nor exciting and fun, except it is a thrill a minute, is it not? China, folks, declared war a long time ago. It's just, what type of war are we in? You know, we've discussed this, right? There's kinetic war, bullets, bombs, planes, tanks, boots on the ground. And then there's psychological warfare, playing games in people's heads. There's monetary warfare, economic warfare. There's all kinds of warfare, folks. There's all kinds of battlefields. Are you done doubting me? Well, I know that you guys here, especially on Patreon, you don't doubt me. And I thank you for it. And if you're not on Patreon, at patreon.com, The Prepared Mind, I would implore you to do so. It gets you ahead of the curve, and it gets you into live discussions Monday through Friday with me and others about what is happening. And you ask a question, it goes on the screen. We talk about it. We get some answers. As for this topic, has China declared war? They don't have to anymore. You see, kinetic warfare, bullets and bombs, it can happen with or without a declaration. Economic warfare, psychological warfare, cyber warfare, folks, they don't declare shit. They just do it. You just have to know what's going on. And then you have to look and see the long-term implications. In this case, the implications is hard times, right? The consequences of economic warfare is economic SHTF. The consequences of kinetic warfare is physical, Mad Max, SHTF. The consequences of psychological warfare, confusion, strife, division, lack of, shall we say, patriotism and direction. That's right. That's what it does, folks. The objective is to defeat the enemy, always. Is China doing that? China, folks, has doubled its Russian coal imports. Doubled it. Now, the rest of the world is saying, boo, bad Moscow. And when I say the rest of the world, I mean the United States, Australia, and Europe. Folks, Indonesia, China, India, South Africa, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, other nations, Iran, North Korea, of course, not so much. Venezuela. What other Central, South American, and African nations are like, you know what? We're just going to play this cool. Well, here's the deal, folks. China has essentially, without declaring war, they've declared war, and they have been fighting a, shall we say, unconventional war. As discussed, they've doubled their cocaine imports. They've doubled it, right? China and Russia, in another article, they're not playing games with the United States. You see, it almost feels like the government of the US and the government of Europe think everything is a game, and they could make a move, and everyone is just supposed to go, oh my God, brilliant. We're going to obey, we're going to cower, yada, yada, yada. Not so. China and Russia don't play the same game. Now, the pieces on the board are real, the money is real, the consequences are real, but it's a different game. Putin is playing chess. China is playing, I don't know what game China's playing, but they're serious about it. They're playing Go. I think the United States and Europe are playing Chutes and Ladders or Candyland, because they are a bunch of candy asses when it comes to this. They don't even know what they're playing. China, folks, has pledged strategic ties to Russia, quote, no matter what. And what does that mean? That means no matter what. It doesn't matter what the EU or the US government does or says. They just don't care. They know that a strategic alliance in the real world requires coal, gas, oil, nuclear technology. Oh, yeah. China has declared a very quiet war. But do you think they're done, right? No, they actually have real world aspirations. Now, in the United States and Europe, people are actually considering a cyber lifestyle. They want to put on goggles and live in the cyber world, the meta world. There's nothing there. You create nothing, you gain nothing. There's nothing there. It's a freaking video game. And people think it's real. Basically, they're trying to convince us that government is all powerful and we should obey it, and that the people can live in a meta universe. No, there's a real world, folks. It's very, very difficult. Well, China has control over these worlds as much as anyone else does. But there's also a very real world set of strategies they have. They have taken over big chunks of Africa, Central and South America. China has, not as an imperialist war machine, but through contracts, business negotiations, alliances. But Taiwan, folks, has resisted this. They've resisted threats, and China wants Taiwan. And let's see, we're over a year into the Biden administration, and our biggest trading partner, China, the biggest trading partner to the United States of America, China. But Biden's administration has barely talked to them. They have no idea what China is wanting, doing, thinking. At least from, mouth to mouth to ear diplomatic talks. Well, finally, Biden's Secretary of Defense, the uber woke, right? Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin had his first call with China's top military general and Defense Minister Wei Feng is his name. And he had some things to say, folks. There is no respect for the United States of America. In my opinion, they've already declared war. It's a matter now of execution, timing, etc. Here's a quote from Defense Minister Wei Feng. China requires the U.S. to stop conducting military provocations at sea and do not use the Ukraine issue to smear, frame, or threaten China. Taiwan, folks, according to China, is a part of China, and no one can change that. Right? The defense minister is said on Wednesday during a rare phone call, rare indeed, it's been over a year, and they finally get a hold of China. A statement about this meeting came from Beijing. And Defense Minister Wei Feng said, if the Taiwan issue were not handled properly, it would have a damaging impact on Sino-US relations. Now, folks, I'm no fan of China or how it conducts its politics. I'm no fan of their philosophical or logical grounds for making the claims they make. Perhaps it's just the way their language is translated into English that makes it seem overly brusque to me. In their defense, dealing with the Washington, D.C. liberal mentality and basically the U.S. government arrogance, it must be insulting to the max to everyone in the world, and most likely, especially China. Never forget, folks, China and its culture are extremely aware of race, the appearance of weakness, and their culture doesn't give a shit about woke crowd think. Enough said on that part of it. But China, I believe, is at war with us. How many weeks has it been since a cargo ship has left Shanghai? A long time. China is a huge trading partner, but they're also allies with someone the United States has said, we cannot do any business with Russia. Now, isn't the enemy the enemy? And isn't the friend of my enemy also my enemy? So that makes China the United States' enemy in philosophy. So why are they our trading partner? Because we have to have them, folks. But they've declared war on us. There's a technological war. There's an industrial war. There's psychological war. There's a monetary war. More on all these things later. The only thing that hasn't been said is we openly are at odds with China. China's defending Russia. China is trading with Russia. China has declared that they are good buddies, right? China has pledged deepened strategic ties with Russia. And right now, folks, they're trying to say Russia is so bad, we won't even talk to them in a diplomatic meeting. And U.S. diplomats, namely economic ones, walked out on Russia. How are we supposed to solve our problems without bullets if they're going to try and solve things without even putting words in? They don't want to solve things, folks. They need this conflict. They need a Cold War. The Western banking cartels, the oligarchs of the United States, the oligarchs of Europe, they need this war. So they're going to make it happen. But they're playing some sort of game. China and Russia, folks, are not. The consequence, ultimately, that will be felt at our level, very painful, very rough. Hard times, inflation, food shortages, fuel shortages, infrastructure failures, government, shall we say, run amok. We got trouble coming, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Get prepared. Right? Go to thepreparedmind.club and our affiliates and get what you need. Get what you need. When China says, oh yeah, by the way, everything that we said shipped, it hasn't. Yeah, then we'll understand, folks. The time for preparation is upon us. The time limit is uncertain. Semper Fi, Godspeed. Chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you are a prepper?